day is it, son?
Game day.
What day?
Game day.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Get ready for a game day edition of CBJ in 30.
Game on!
Yeah, game on.
Hear from the players and coaches as the Blue Jackets get set to hit the ice. Join the discussion on Twitter by using the hashtag CBJ in 30. Here's your host, Bob McElligott.
Down to Florida, we welcome you to the Sunshine State. They're kicking back and soaking up the rays every day in Florida. I'm in Florida. The sun is setting over Tampa Bay. It's like a Caribbean holiday every day in Florida.
That's a catchy little tune, isn't it? It's nice to find a song that has some good whistling in it because that does not come easy. You know that, right? And as I'm sitting here talking about the whistling, I'm asking myself a question in my mind. Why do you like that? Why do you like the whistling in the songs? And I just figured it out. So again, as I operate, the minute a thought comes to my head, it comes out of my mouth. When I was a kid and I used to go and stay with my grandparents in the summer, my grandfather always listened to big band music. Always. I mean, this is the 1980s, and we're listening to songs from 1940, 1942, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, all these guys, right? Count Basie, all of these guys. And he would listen to that, and he would whistle to the songs. And he whistled in harmony. You know, it was like he didn't whistle the melody of the song. He would almost whistle in harmony. And I just became accustomed to it and used to it and expected it all those years. So I think that's why now when I hear a song that's got good whistling in it, it brings me back. That's what life's about, right? That's what makes you feel comfortable. The things that bring you back to a time in your life when everything was good. You didn't have a care in the world. You had no bills to pay. You had no car to fix. You had no responsibility at work. You were just a kid. You were out playing wiffle ball in the street, riding your bike all over the place. That was it. Those things, those comfort things that take you back. I think that's what it is for me. Just here living in the lap of luxury in wonderful Tampa, Florida. Welcome to today's edition of CBJ in 30, a game day edition as the Blue Jackets get set to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm Bob McElligott. I hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to get together with family and friends. We were not, you know that, because we traveled yesterday. But I'll tell you a story. This is my disappointing Thanksgiving Day story for you, okay? So we went out to eat last night when we got into Tampa, and I went out with the guys on the Fox Sports Ohio crew, the TV crew. Jody Shelley and Ed Milliken's the producer, and Brian Filippetti's the director. They very kindly invited me to go out and have dinner with them last night. So we go out to a restaurant, and we actually went to a steakhouse, okay? And then you have your choice. Are you going to eat a steak, or are you going to take the turkey that they have, the special Thanksgiving meal that they are offering, which looked pretty good on paper because you got the turkey and all the sides, you know, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, the vegetables. You got a salad to start with, and then got dessert. And the dessert choice was apple cobbler or pumpkin pie. Now, I don't know where you stand, but to me, it's Thanksgiving. So I'm going to have the pumpkin pie. And everybody at our table pretty much that decided to get that meal decided they were going to get the pumpkin pie. So the end of the meal comes, it's time for dessert, and our server comes over and apologetically tells us that there is no more pumpkin pie. That's almost sacrilegious, right? Thanksgiving, and you've run out of pumpkin pie. So that was a disappointment of the day. Well, it was disappointing having to leave early and not spend time at home with family. But then that was the capper on the day, I guess I should say. So today, it's back to work, and that's probably a good thing as the Blue Jackets get set to take on one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference here tonight. There's no doubt about that. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a team that has really – they're on the map, and they're really on the map pretty much year in and year out. I don't want to say it doesn't matter who they have in their lineup because they've got some very special players in their lineup. They're without arguably their most special player, Steven Stamkos. He's going to be out for a long time with an injury again this year, just like he was last year. He missed a ton of time. In fact, well, last year was even different because he was coming up as a free agent last summer. And then he was hurt, and he didn't play until, the last game of that playoff series with the Penguins. And there was a lot of speculation whether he was going to stay or not. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, they ended the speculation by signing him to a new contract before he ever hit the free agent market. And I can understand why he would take that contract. This is a good hockey city. It is. They're a city that does own a Stanley Cup, which, of course, they got years ago when John Tortorella was here as the head coach. So they've got a pedigree. It's not just a place where there are fans from other NHL teams that populate the building, and I'm sure that happens to them a lot, but they've cultivated their own fan base through winning. And then in the last couple of years, with the young talent that they have brought up from the minor leagues and put into their lineup, they've gotten better and better. So I could see why you would want to stay here as a player. First of all, the weather, okay? You can wear shorts and flip-flops to the rink for practice all through the season. Doesn't matter. You've got a good fan base, like I said. You've got good teammates and a winning atmosphere. You're playing for a general manager in Steve Yzerman, one of the greats of the game. And then on top of all of that, there's no state income tax in Florida, so you make more money. So why wouldn't you take all of those things into account and want to stay here? That's what Stamkos did, and I don't blame him. But I like this area. I really do. Tomorrow we'll be over near Fort Lauderdale, over in Sunrise. I'm not a big fan of that side of this state. I very much like this side of the state. I spent a lot of time here. I've told this story before. I spent a lot of time here during spring training when I was in Syracuse and we were affiliated with the Toronto Blue Jays. Their Blue Jays spring training is in Dunedin, which is over near Clearwater. So I spent a lot of time here in the springs coming down and doing a spring training coverage. And I've spent more time over here. I just like it better over here. But I think the whole mindset is different. I think it's more relaxed on this side of the state of Florida. On the Gulf of Mexico side, I think it's way more relaxed. And my theory is on the Miami side, and Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all that, I think you get a lot of the people from New York, Boston, Philadelphia. They come straight down the coast and they go there. I think when you get over here on the Gulf of Mexico side, I think you're more into the Midwest, western part of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Chicago, the more laid-back people that are not all high-strung and, it's just a different way of life, just a different mindset. I love it here. I really do. I love it. And the hotel here is right on the water, not on the beach. You have to go out to Clearwater for the beach, but it's on the water that runs in the channel right beside the arena, basically. It's a really, really nice setup, and I enjoy coming here. But it's not nearly as enjoyable if you lose. Let's be honest about that. It's really enjoyable when you come here and win, and coming here and winning is not an easy thing to do. For the Blue Jackets, who are coming in after a 2-0 loss to the Calgary Flames on Wednesday, where they couldn't do basically anything to get their game going for them, this is going to be a huge test tonight to take on this team and to see exactly what comes out of it. Well, as I mentioned before, John Tortorella was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning when they won a Stanley Cup. Torch is back in town today, and I had a chance to catch up with him to talk about tonight's game earlier on. Wednesday night obviously was disappointing. How much do you hope that that's one of those learning experiences for your young team?
Yeah, it's a long season. You're not always going to play the best you can be. Always different types of way of losing. I just don't like the way we lost. I thought we were on the outside. I don't think we competed hard enough, no matter what the shots on goal were. I don't think we competed hard enough. I think we fell into a little bit of a trap there. So playing a really good team tonight, so you need to remedy it right away.
That might be good for you because the week before you had the 2 games against the Capitals and 1 against the Rangers. A lot of excitement. Then all of a sudden, look, I'm sorry, Colorado and Calgary just doesn't bring the same juice. This one might.
Yeah, it has to. The building's going to be filled. It's a really good team, one of the top teams in the league. We'll be ready to play. Who knows what the result is, but I think we're going to be ready to play. And that's all I want him to do. It's out of your control, some of the things that go on in the game, but just be ready to play the right way.
Matt Calvert is such an important part of this team. And, he's not a guy that jumps out in the league. Well, he did when he got hit in the head. Everybody knew who Matt Calvert was there a week ago. But not having him, and that takes away from the most consistent line that you've had all year with Carlson and Anderson. How much has it changed not having him?
Yeah, I call him, he's a glue guy. I think you have those. He's not a star player. He's just that foundation glue guy that I use in a lot of different situations, killing penalties, forechecking, momentum changing shifts. We miss him. He brings the type of game that we all want to play. So we have to pick up some of his minutes. So hope he gets better and he gets back here quickly, but we certainly miss him.
Marcus Hannikainen has come in. He's a different type of player than Matt Calvert, but he has a little bit of that grittiness, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's similar. I think Hanny is he's a dog on a bone. You know what you're going to get from him. I want to see him make some plays tonight here if he can. I think he might have some opportunity. I may move him around the lineup a little bit and see where he fits. But he's going to be a guy that eventually is going to stick here and be a big part of our team.
How much would you like to get to a lineup where you can just be hands-off for a while? You were there a couple of weeks ago, but how much would you like to get back to that?
Yeah, you like to, but it never happens that way. You talk to all coaches in the league. There's always different things, different obstacles, different pushes you need to have with your team. We like to just let them go, open up the gate and play, but it doesn't happen that way. You're dealing with a lot of different personalities and a lot of things going on around them. So we've been pretty consistent here the last little while. Very fortunate with injuries, knock on wood. We'll make our call as we go through. So we'll see where it goes.
Finally, what's it like for you to come back to this city, which is where you won a Stanley Cup? I mean, it's easily your biggest accomplishment as a head coach happened here. What's it like to come back?
Yeah, it's my home too. It's our home, my family. We still have our house here. Spent 7 years here, cutting my teeth as a head coach. The people, the organization here still they treat my family and myself so very well. I get a little screwed up, I do. I spent a lot of years here and a lot of grinding to try to get the club to where it wants to be. Met a lot of great people and still are very close friends of mine. So I don't even like coming here, quite honest, because it confuses me because I have so many friends. I just want to beat them and go. And got to see my house for about 5 hours yesterday, but that's enough because we don't live here right now. It's hockey season. We'll come back here during the summer.
See, for all those people who think you have no feelings, you have too many feelings.
Yeah, I'm all screwed up, aren't I?
Yeah. Torch, thanks. Good luck.
My pleasure, Bobby.
Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella. And, we're teasing about him being all screwed up, but it's got to be just a wonderful feeling to come back to a place like this where you won a Stanley Cup, where you achieved a milestone, something that he hopes to do again. But if he never accomplishes that again anywhere, he did it here. And it was the first time. And it was when he was learning the ropes of being a head coach in the NHL. So for him, and I see how everybody treats him here when he's over at the rink. As a matter of fact, when we come here, the only thing I hate about coming here is that I have to wait so long to get my interview with John Tortorella because there is a line of people waiting to talk to him, a line of media people just ready to welcome him back. Today he did a lot of talking about Martin St. Louis, who is going to have his jersey number retired here in a couple of weeks, I guess it is, sometime in January. But a lot of guys are talking to him about Marty St. Louis, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch just to see how people take to him. Totally different from New York, and I don't mean that the New York people are mean to him by any stretch of the imagination. It's just so much of a homey feel when he comes here. You can see it. You can see it. You can just feel it all around. But he doesn't want his team to feel anything tonight except the desire to win. You heard what he said. He goes, I just want to beat them and get out of here. And that will be the game plan for tonight. Got a chance to catch up with Blue Jackets forward Josh Anderson a little bit earlier as well. And he says that he and his teammates are ready tonight, too. Back at it today, Josh. Will it be nice to get back out there after losing the game and losing it without any points the other night?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've passed that day. We just want to get back on the right track here and play our game and come out tonight with a win.
You've had one of the most consistent lines on this team, but now with Matt Calvert out, how does it change the chemistry? Bill's still there in the middle, but you've gone with different wingers here.
Yeah, it changed a little bit, but Hartnell stepping in there. He's a primetime vet, and he knows exactly what to do. He's a smart player. He can get up the ice, be physical, and that's what we're trying to do tonight. Get on the forecheck as much as we can, and play in their end.
You went against a couple of Western Conference teams. This is a good team tonight with a lot of speed. How much are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, it'll be a good test for our team. Like you said, they're a really fast team and smart, and we just got to get on them as much as we can. And
get to the net and get in front of the net. You need more traffic tonight?
For sure, yeah. We got to screen one of their goalies, whoever is the net for them, and if they can't see it, we have a better chance of it going in tonight.
Blue Jackets forward Josh Anderson right there, and he's going to be a big part of this game, I think. He needs to be a big part of this game is what I should say. It would be great if he could take that speed net energy that he's bringing and translate it into some points, maybe even a goal or two for him tonight. Would be nice to see if they can get anything going. As you heard him say, Scott Hartnell is going to be on his line in place of Matt Calvert, who was put on the injured reserve list, by the way, and Justin Scott has been recalled from the Cleveland Monsters. Scott will not play tonight, but he's here, and he's here because of merit. John Tortorella talked about that this morning. He said that Justin Scott has been playing the best in Cleveland, and he wants it to be a merit system coming up here. He doesn't want to just take somebody for any reason other than they're playing well. He said, if we're going to have a merit system here and you get to play here because you're playing well, we want it to be a merit system coming from the American Hockey League as well, that if you're playing well, you will get your opportunities. So Justin Scott is here, but again, he, Scott Harrington, Dalton Prout, all scratches for tonight's game. Sergei Bobrovsky will start in net this evening, and everything else pretty much remains the same as Wednesday night. Now, let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. 13-7-1 is this team's record coming into the game tonight. That's good for 27 points. They're also very good at home at 6-2-1. Ben Bishop is going to make the start this evening. He is 7-6, 2.80 goals against average. Don't let that one game over 500 record fool you. He is one of the best in the league. He is a big guy. If you do not get him moving side to side, if you do not get him out of position, you will not beat him. He can just stand in front of the net and take up the whole doggone thing. So they've got to get that puck. They talked about needing more screens. They didn't go hard to the net on Wednesday. They didn't have enough traffic. They shot from the outside. You do that stuff tonight, and you're going to have the same result you had on Wednesday. I'm telling you right now, because this guy is too big. If you don't get second and third opportunities, if you don't get him moving from side to side, post to post, you're not going to beat him. So they have got to make that the number one thing to get done here this evening. 24 points. Nikita Kucherov leads this team, 10 goals and 14 assists. He's the only guy that is in double digits in goals on this Tampa Bay Lightning team. But other players are in double digits when it comes to the points. Victor Hedman's got 15 points off the blue line, 11 assists for him. Speaking of big guys, he's huge, and he has a really big shot that the Blue Jackets will have to watch out for here tonight. Valtteri Filppula, the former Detroit Red Wing, continues to play well. He's got 14 points coming into this game. Tyler Johnson has 13 points. So, again, even though you don't have a Stamkos, you still have the Kucherovs and the Tyler Johnsons, and even Alex Killorn and Cedric Paquette, Andre Palat. They just keep bringing it. They bring it in waves, this team. They developed the core of this team in the minor leagues. They've brought it up here to the NHL, and they just come after you. They will use speed. They will use skill. And if you cannot slow them down, you are going to be in for a very long night. Remember when the Blue Jackets were here? Was it last year when the power plays killed them? They gave up too many power plays to the Lightning, took too many penalties. So that's going to be another key. It's always a key to stay out of the penalty box. I understand that. But in some clubs, it's just more pertinent than others to stay out of the penalty box. I mean, this power play is third in the league. So don't give them an opportunity to skate with a man advantage. All right, game tonight gets underway at 7:30 here at the Amalie Arena in Tampa. I'll be on the air starting at 7:15 with pregame coverage. You can hear it in Columbus on CD 102.5 tonight. You can also hear the game throughout the state on the Blue Jackets radio network. You can get it on the NHL app, and you can get it on the Blue Jackets channel on your TuneIn app as well. Just want to get all of that out there because I've got to move to some other things. It's a sad day in a couple of respects. Even though it's now officially it's the Christmas season to me. Day after Thanksgiving, you can start. Black Friday, you can start. I don't want to hear Christmas carols and see the decorations in the store after Halloween. But after Thanksgiving, now we're into it. But to me, it's a really sad start to the Christmas season because we lost a couple of very prominent people in the last day. One hockey-related, one non-hockey-related. Let's start in hockey, where Bob Chase, the longtime voice of the Fort Wayne Komets, has passed away. Now, I did not know Bob Chase. I know the name. I know he's a legend. He was with that team for 63 seasons. I have a hard time imagining that. 63 seasons. And that's through the span of how many different leagues? I mean, they were in the International Hockey League forever, but then they bounced around to Central Hockey League. They're in the ECHL now, and it is just, well, he was a legend. He was, and many of you have probably heard him. He was one of those guys that if you were driving late at night and you would scan through the radio dial, there was a good chance you would run across Bob Chase calling the Fort Wayne Komets. A couple of years back, he was inducted to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and here's a little interview that he did for the ECHL talking about when he got the call that he was going into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it was a very strange situation. We'd been in Alabama visiting one of our boys. We were on I-65 just into Tennessee coming home. Cell phone rang, the wife answered it and said, "Bob, it's for you," and handed me the phone. Well, I'm driving a 38-foot fifth wheel with a big 350 dually in the middle of a multitude of semis running 75 miles an hour, and this voice says, "Oh my gosh, am I ever happy to finally find you?" And I said, "Well, who is this?" And the voice said, "Bob, this is Gary Bettman." And I'm going, "Yeah, sure." I mean, you know, we have a lot of friends who are funny. But the more I spoke, I knew it was him right away. And he said, "Well, I want to be the first to congratulate you." I knew I had been nominated for the Hall of Fame. I thought, wow, I'm finally going to get into the Hall of Fame, and I'm waiting for him to say that maybe. And he said, as he said again, "I want to be the first to congratulate you. You have won the Lester Patrick Award." Well, that just completely wiped me out. And I was speechless, and there were tears coming down my cheek. And I said, "Mr. Bettman, can you give me just a couple of minutes? I've got to compose myself a little." And I looked at my wife, and I'm going, wow, and I'm crying. And she says, "What's wrong?" "Hello, Mr." And we talked some more. About 20 minutes. I had a real nice conversation and had looked forward to him making the presentation in Dallas until the labor stuff took it all away. But, I mean, it was a moment that I still, even after being there and even after accepting the award, I even look at the DVD again to be sure that was kind of really me, you know. I had never, in my wildest dreams, I could never. And then to go into the induction with Dick Patrick, what a special thing that was with, you know, that was his grandpa that was the guy that got it all started. It's a hallowed moment in my sports career.
There is Hall of Famer Bob Chase, the former voice of the Fort Wayne Komets, who passed away yesterday at the age of 90 after spending 63 years with that team. We have a Blue Jackets radio affiliate in Fort Wayne, Indiana this year. WFGA just came on board with us. We're very happy to have you. So to all of you in Fort Wayne who are mourning the loss of Bob Chase, we're thinking of you, and we're thinking of Bob Chase today. So that is one person that was taken from this world within the past 24 hours or so. Another one, well, America's mom is what you could call her.
I'll get it. Hello? Oh, hi, Mrs. Engstrom. She what? Oh, I see. No, you were right. She didn't. We'll get back to you. Thanks for calling. Mike, Cindy told Mrs. Engstrom she sprained her ankle. She dropped out of the play.
Well, no wonder she couldn't eat and she went right to her room.
Oh, Mike, she was so thrilled about doing that play.
Relax, honey. I'm going to straighten out things right now.
Florence Henderson, who played Carol Brady on the Brady Bunch, has passed away at the age of 82. So another well-known person passing away, and we have to say so long. I used to watch that show every day. Our bus would get home at 4 o'clock, and it was on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I would come in and watch the Brady Bunch. I didn't know every episode by heart, but when it would come on, I would, oh, yes, I remember this one. This is where they put too much detergent in the washing machine and the bubbles come all the way out into the kitchen. Or the great lines like, Mom always said don't play ball in the house. Oh, what a great show. Great family show. Just wholesome family. That show was about a family, but it was just good, wholesome family entertainment. So Florence Henderson has passed away. Bob Chase has passed away. And we move on because that's the only choice that we have in life. We mourn the passing of people, and then we move on. And we move on to a hockey game tonight. That's not a great segue. I understand that, but it is true. Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning, they kick off the season series here this evening in Tampa. Again, the Blue Jackets have got to be on top of their game. If they're not, they could pay a heavy price, and it won't take long to pay that price against this team tonight. So if you're out shopping today, which you might be, I don't know if you're into that. I'm not. I've never been a Black Friday kind of guy. I'm not going out on Thanksgiving night and trying to get a great deal on something. Actually, I did do that a couple years ago. I have to take that back. We did do that a couple of years ago, but it was a really good deal, and it was really packed in the store, and it was really bothersome because I don't like those crowds. But maybe you do. Maybe you do, and if you're out shopping today, do so safely. Watch where you're driving. People are just walking around not paying attention today, trying to steal parking spots in the lot, trying to whip in there before somebody else can pull in from the other side. You know how it works. You know exactly how it works. You've done it forever. So be careful, be safe, and tonight the puck drops at 7:30. I will talk to you at 7:15 on the Blue Jackets Radio Network this evening. Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Until tonight, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long.